Yeah, 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 yeah. They're doing something weird with YouTube right now with streams where they automatically translate the chat, which is super weird. So yeah, I'm turning that off, but I can probably turn that off for every stream, but right now I have to do it. But thanks as always, everyone, for joining the weekly Wednesday stream where we go over all the gaming news. And there's a ton of Xbox stuff this week, which is kind of crazy. We will, of course, also be talking about the Shadows update. I'm curious what everyone is saying right now, what they like about it, if they've played it already. I'm, of course, working on um, a video for it, a main channel video. So look forward to that. Reddit Phantom, today is my birthday. Well, happy birthday. That's very awesome to hear. Hope you had a good one so far already, and of course for the rest of the day. That's super awesome. Congrats. W1 is there too. We got Frank, 53 Knight, Saber Knight, Human User 1. I have to say, mod stuff got me back into Shadows. Awesome to hear. Awesome to hear. I'm gonna quickly share this stream also on post for every channel while everyone is coming in, which is nice. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Beep, beep. Bada beep bop boo doo doo. Bada beep beep beep. Bada beep beep beep. Okay. Domain is okay, but the enemies are just sponge. I don't really see the challenge besides gimmick of poison, etc. Yeah, Cyrus Helix, Helios. That has been my takeaway as well. It's really sad that they went with like recommended or like enemies leveling as well. Because I think having the fact that you always have to play on nightmare difficulty and the extra sort of debuffs, that is the challenge. That is already enough of a challenge, and that doesn't force people to go to level 100, which is crazy because there's not enough content to get to 100. You have to really just grind out New Game Plus or other activities to get to that. And that is just very sad. I'm level 88 right now, and I of course wanna complete this mode, but that means that I will have to grind a lot of stuff first before I can even hit it. So then you're level 100, and one of the nice parts from the domains is also that you get XP from them, but that will then be useless. Obviously, you still get XP, that you get a mastery point, but that is kind of useless as well. So them going for the recommended level, or like increasing the enemy's level as a way to make the domain challenges more challenging is not fun at all. That was really a misstep. And I will certainly talk about that. It really feels like the Horde mode from Origins. I said it during stream yesterday as well. I'm not sure if you guys remember, where the increase in challenge in the Horde mode for Origins was that the enemies would just level up and then at one point become skill enemies. And when they are skilled, you just cannot do any damage. And also in Shadows, the crazy part is that skill enemies, the health segment system doesn't work. So you cannot stealth them at all. So you have to grind to 100. What do you think of the final rift in Shadows? That's the only thing I've not played yet. The levels also require more and more XP as you grow through them. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like the fact that you need to that you kind of need your artifact upgrades, it's not really needed, but it will of course help. That is already a grind in itself. And that sort of artifact system also sucks because then all the new items you get, you cannot really immediately use in the domains. So you have all these new items, and then you're like, yeah, but why would I use them? Because I have my level 9 item that is way better. So you're just like using these new items. You're just engraving the perk on the other item you already have. And that's kind of the way to go. It's kind of sad. I do like the rewards from the past AC games. Like, the rewards in terms of visuals are awesome. It's just that the systems just don't really work well together. After watching you struggle on stage 7 yesterday, I'll probably pass on the domains. Again, like, level 6, it was challenging, but I managed. Like, that was just a skill thing. And then going to 7, where I have to roll a dice to hope that the enemy is not a skill level enemy, that's just not fun. I can probably do 7 now. Again, I'm level 88 now, so that means that the enemies will probably not spawn as skill anymore. But for 8, 9, and 10, I will hit that level 100 wall, which means that I have to grind 8 levels probably to get like to 98 or 97, and then I make a decent chance. And that is like a few hours of just repeating contracts. Or the fastest way would actually be doing a new game plus run, but I'm not gonna do that. Do you have to be high level for the domain? Because I'm level 89 and I can't beat the first one. Yeah, I do think I want to do like on JorRaptor, like a quick video on the like a build, because there are some things that you just need to know that will help you a lot. So if you are like level 89, then you should not have issues with the first at least 5 domains. But at level 7, all the enemies will suddenly be 90. So that is when you actually that is when you actually will have some issues. But can beat the first one. Like 8, 9, and 10, you will then run into this wall. And that just sucks. That wall is just not good. Shadow's new quest was miles above any quest in the main game, Johnny Future. Oh yeah, like, that quest is awesome. Like, I'm happy that they took the time to make that, to give the game an injection of Assassin's Creed, which was so obviously missing. And I really don't get the decision to not include these like sort of throwbacks to the other games and having any Izu content at all. Like, yeah, I like the new mission as well. I thought the boss fights were lacking. I beat them like very easily, but it's very hard to balance that. If you like have the most OP build in the game, then obviously you're gonna easily get rid of these enemies. But Nerdy Giant, thanks for your super chat there. That's a very generous super chat, by the way. So other than Xbox, should we expect much more bad news from the big publishers? PlayStation, Nintendo, etc. It's really sad that we have Summer Game Fest excitement, and then right after all this crap, all to save a buck. So what is really going on with the gaming industry as a whole? And we of course have this funny like document every week, and we look at it, and it's like we're kind of like, I'm not saying we're making fun of it, but we're kind of like making it like a fun returning segment, right? Let me pull up the document that we have. The upcoming games list. Like, this is end of July. We now know it's July 28th, I think. Like, the problem with the Summer Game Fest excitement, and then having the sort of yeah, I mean, the industry is basically correcting itself again, and we're still in the middle of that. And I think actually, like, the Summer Game Fest excitement, it's true, but I think Summer Game Fest also showed all the issues that were there, right? Like, you like this cannot go well. This cannot go well. We have Gears of War E-Day now. Oh, we can like kind of update these. October 3rd? Or was it like 6th? 6th, I think. And with all these Xbox things, it's of course like you have like early access. I think we're good now. This is like, not every game can do well, and that is kind of the problem that we're seeing right now, is that, yeah, it's sad that all these studios are closing, but there are not enough players for all these games, and that sucks, but it is the reality. And then, like, the industry has to course correct, because if it stays the same, then you will still have the issue where there are too many games, like, and we just cannot keep up with all of it. So having the Xbox, like, I want to do a proper like topic on the Xbox stuff a little later in the stream, but I'm like, there are two ways to look at it, right? On one end, you can be like, yeah, it sucks that all these studios are closing. On the other hand, you can be like, it's kind of wild that Xbox kept them open for that long. Because like the compulsion games, when they were bought by Xbox 2018 or something, they spent a ton of time working on one game, South of Midnight, that then released, and maybe 500,000 people probably like played that game, something like that. I don't know. For the amount of time that they worked on it in a Montreal office, yeah, like, it's sadly not a fantasy world. Like, that just doesn't make any business sense, right? So that is kind of the sad reality we are in, and I totally think there are, like, I think the whole Bungie situation sucks. Like, that, I think that has way more layers to it, because I do think stopping development on anything Destiny related, there's clearly a huge audience there that will then not be served. And it would suck if PlayStation and Bungie cannot figure out a way to make something that is sustainable for them and also works for the Destiny audience. And I think that would be a huge loss if that, like, franchise disappears. And that does feel like bad management. That does feel like things could have been better in a different timeline. But I think for some of the studios that we're now seeing getting closed, it's like, on the other hand, it's kind of, you could also be like, well, be happy also that you were able to operate in the way you were able to operate. You were able to make the game that you wanted to make. You got all the funding. You did not have to worry for the amount of years that you worked on it. And now that's over. Like, the fun times are over. Yeah, that's sad, but maybe be happy that you were even able to put in that position, because a lot of gaming studios are not in that position. They are forced to make particular game and have the creativity be in the small box inside that franchise or inside that game. Being able to be part of a huge company like Xbox and being able to toy away at the thing you wanted to make for 6 years, that then releases and doesn't make its money back, and then you're still able to operate and make a next game. That is, I would argue, that's pretty good. Like, that's some nice, that's great. And I wish that is what the industry is. I wish that there was a big company like Microsoft being like, yeah, we have a ton of money, we make a shit ton of profit on all the Windows stuff we're doing, the Word, the LinkedIn, you name it, and we love art, and yeah, we're putting that money into cool art that hopefully gets us a nomination or an award, and that's all great, and let them do what they are doing best. But I get that that is also not the reality. I totally think Xbox has been managed poorly, and things that are happening now should have been happening earlier. I think them now finally focusing on the bigger franchises is wild. I'm already getting ahead of myself, but basically, I think it's way more like, I get people are like sad that all these studios that are making these games are disappearing, but it's also that there's always like, but did you buy that game? Like, were you the person that spent the full price on the game? often it's like, no, but it's cool that these games are being made. Okay, but for who is the audience for it? Yeah, it's cool that we're getting a pot party game by Double Fine, but if no one is playing it, then okay, it's cool that we're getting it, but like it doesn't. Sometimes if there's no people that actually engage with something, then should it even exist? So yeah, there are multiple ways to kind of look at it, and yeah, it's still sad people are losing their jobs. Obviously, that is not great. But I think they could also look at it and be like, I got the dream job for X amount of years. And yeah, of course, it was not gonna last. Like, this is fantasy world. This is awesome that we got to do this. And obviously, this cannot go on for much longer. Fun times are over. Yeah, at one point, reality kicks in, right? Like, I would love to. I mean, I don't know, but I'm sure people would love to just not work, live on the beach all life. But that's not realistic. And maybe that's a bit too a bit of a weird example, but at one point you gotta work, you gotta do something, you gotta make money. But yeah, there's always a nuance. Like, of course, it's like bad management as well. Like, I think they should have, before green lighting and letting a studio work on a game for 6 years, you at least have to do some sort of, like, is there even an audience for this? If we see this through, will people show up for this? And it feels like for Xbox, they did not do that. They were like, you want to make that? Oh, that's where your passion is? Oh, that's so cool. Go make that. Here you have infinite money. And then they were like, yeah, okay. They got enough rope to hang themselves, and then they did, and then it launched, and people liked it, but it wasn't that great. Like, that is also, like, if these games were, I don't know, Insomniac level, then these studios would not shut down. But they sadly are not. So, there is always more to it. Is the Free Roam podcast returning? Yeah, I do actually want to. So I'm still working on, of course, the shadow stuff. But I think talking with Luke about the whole Xbox situation would be fascinating. Because it feels like, and people that have been like part of that podcast and listening to it, they know that we've always been saying, like, where is Elder Scrolls? Why will it probably take till 2035 for a new Fallout? That's crazy. And they're finally doing it. They're finally like, yeah, that is indeed crazy. Todd, you work for us. I know you want to do it yourself, but that's not realistic. We bought you. You're one of us. East Blue Drew, good to see you. Obi Juan, good to see you as well. Seeing a lot of familiar names again. That's awesome. Black Knight, good to see everyone. Gokhan, when should we hear news about the new Assassin's Creed game and not one of the remakes? It's gonna be a while. I think Game Awards probably the earliest for Hexay. So that would be in December. I just started the Rifts. About to start Rift 4. What uniform would you recommend to use in the biohazard area? For the Tiger Shadow, you have to be a bit more specific. Koen is top. Also good to see you as always. San, is that Dutch? San Kantertje? Probably right. Is Blade cancelled? That's still the question. Like, what is happening with Arcane? Ba-da-da. I need to look at some other. Whoa. Nerdy Giant, thanks again for your support. I like how you put that its true work is important. Even if I feel you have your channel and love games, but at the end of the day, you gotta put food on the table. Yeah, that's the realistic situation. And yeah, that's why when I sometimes hear like other like podcasts talk about, oh, it's so sad that these studios are shutting down and oh no, they lose their jobs, and then that's all true, and that is indeed sad. But I think if you work at a company like Double Fine and you look at your Steam charts, or like they probably have better data, and you see that a few hundred people are playing your game, you must be scratching your head and be like, how can I be in this San Francisco office, get like paid, I don't know, X amount of thousands of dollars every month, and it's all working out? Like at one point at a company, if you see the money coming in or get like some sort of idea of how many people are engaging with your product, and you know how many colleagues you have, you know the big building that you're going to, you know maybe there's like some lunch people like preparing the lunch every day or whatever, like you know it's an expensive or operation that you're like part of, and then you see, oh, our new game did 1,000 copies, then you must be at one point be like, it's not adding up. It's not like, so then I would argue that you're actually happy that it lasted for that long, right? So that's just another way to look at it, and I hope that yeah, I think that is an interesting way to be like, sure, Xbox should not have bought these studios if they, because you cannot buy Double Fine and expect them to make a million seller. That's not their forte. You cannot buy Ninja Theory and be like, yo, you make the next God of War. Like that's not possible. But I do think that they bought those teams. I think maybe if they were not bought by Microsoft, they might not be around. Because if Double Fine was actually like, if they were by the games they put out, if that was basically the money that was coming in, period, without a Microsoft funding them endlessly, they would have been out of business for a way longer time. I think for Bethesda as well. Bethesda did Redfall. Bethesda did like Fallout 76, of course, chugging along. It's probably making some money, but it's not a lot. They did Doom the Dark Ages, which flopped quite big. I would imagine like it did not do that well. They, of course, did Indiana Jones, which did fine. Like, Bethesda would have been in a huge amount of trouble if Xbox did not buy them. So, there are multiple ways to look at it. Xbox, you can look at them as the angry, like as the demon. Obviously, how they're going to handle this now by killing them outright is not great. Although they are talking about maybe spinning off these studios and buying themselves out, so that would be nice. But I also think that maybe Xbox saved some of these companies that were in big trouble before they reached out, like Double Fine having to do a crowdfunding each time, which was not really working, and then Xbox coming in and being like, yo, and Psychonauts 2, it was a way bigger game because Xbox funded it. So yeah, I think there are just multiple ways to look at it. Yeah, business doesn't care about feeling. Yeah. The Wanderer XO, thanks for joining as well. Hello, hello. Pearl Abyss has definitely set the standard. I'll be fine with them going quiet for 6 months to develop the DLC. For sure. I think we're talking here about like the Black Flag stuff. I don't think Yor knows many Spanish names. I mean, I do watch like the Barcelona team, so I could like name those names and we would be fine. Hey, Peps Gaming, good to see you as well. Was FIFA Pinata by Rare? Yes, but that's... Oh, wait. Doom the Dark Ages did fine. Okay. Doom the Dark Ages, Sills. Doom the Dark Ages reportedly sold less than 1 million copies. They had 3 million players. And we will see Alinea Analytics a lot for the sales, but they are close to right. Like it is. I see a lot of people like, oh, they're pulling stuff out of their ass. Not really true. Like we've seen time and time again that that they're often close. So it's the best we got. But yeah, basically 800,000 is what the game sold. Like I think Doom Eternal and Doom 2016 sold like millions. I really think Doom the Dark Ages, it was all mostly Game Pass. This game really did not do well. Maybe over time, but I don't think it did well. The Steam charts as well. 31K if you go to Doom Eternal. 104,000 Doom 2016. 44. Again, Doom the Dark Ages. That game, that game probably cost a few 100 million. I don't think they made their money back on that game. Yes, it's Dutch. Nice. It's the calm before the storm with all the games coming out week after week. For sure. Like we have Black Flag in a few weeks, which is very exciting. 3 weeks to be exact, or 2. Or 3 weeks. After that, it will be a bit quiet. I will totally be playing through Halo, and then the end of August will be the crazy time. That's when I want to clone myself, I guess. The budgets have gotten huge, so sales need to be unrealistic, for sure. But like, and the whole math with these studios, it doesn't work anymore. Like previously, okay, so Doom Eternal, like Doom did like let's say 5 million copies or a bit more. Doom Eternal was even bigger than Doom 2016. So then you make a third game and it's like, well, it's certainly going to do the same numbers as Eternal and maybe more. That's how it always works. But that's not the day and age we live in right now. And it would have actually been better if they made a Quake instead of another Doom game. But yeah, it's kind of sad. Of course, they're doing a DLC to get more out of the people who actually bought it, so that is smart. But yeah. No, Doom Eternal did very well, I think. That's probably why they went with another Doom game. It's still hot on Game Pass. Yeah, I guess. And that makes it, of course, hard to kind of like see, okay, was it a success in their eyes? But like a Doom game only like struggling to sell 1 million, that's not very good. Like this game should sell a couple million in the first month easily with a budget like that. Dark Age didn't impress me. It was fine. Like I liked it a lot too. I think the setting indeed was very cool, but the whole grounded nature to it, it did get like kind of yeah. I was not really. I played like I think until like half of it, and I wasn't really compelled to continue. But I had that way more with Eternal. It felt like there was a bit more depth and a progression throughout the game. I know people need a new Witcher, like, to hold them off till 4 comes out. I mean, we get the Witcher 3 DLC. Doom Eternal and Doom 2016 was peak. Oh yeah, they were great. If you had to pick one game to play in September, ooh. So I'm like kind of getting more and more hyped for Blood of Dawnwalker. I'm just kind of in the mood for a game like that. Like a fun RPG with like a lot of stuff to find. But I am kind of it will probably be a lot of talking to people as well. So that is like I think Control will probably be the best game of them all. But I think if I had to pick one, it's gonna be hard. It might be Animusha. And it can change every day. It can change every day for me. September is gonna be such a bloodbath. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I still haven't finished Crimson Desert. Plenty to play. Oh yeah. Yor, do you think ACJ got quietly cancelled or has been massively overhauled behind the scenes? I think the last we heard about Jade is that it's still coming. So I would be shocked if they don't like continue with it. But yeah, Ubisoft is not really finding a lot of success with their mobile games. But the difference is that it's made by Tencent, and so probably has a way smaller budget than like Ubisoft is making the other mobile games in house. But like, and they're making it on PC, which makes me hopeful. Like Division is coming to PC, which makes me hopeful that they are actually bringing those games to PC as well. But it's another like big bet from this industry that has not worked out. Like you would think, okay, having like I think Call of Duty Mobile did pretty well, but it seems that only if your franchise is huge, like next level huge, like Call of Duty level, then you can make some cash on mobile. But everyone like felt the need to kind of like port their popular console or PC franchise to mobile, but people just did not show up. Like the games that are made for mobile in mind and are new IPs, those tend to work the best. Because also if you want like a Destiny or a Call of Duty or any of these games on mobile, like they're already way more expensive because people expect a certain quality, they expect a sort of graphical fidelity, and you like often like to hit that you already have to invest quite a lot into a free to play, like it has to be free to play game that will probably not get its money back. So the whole mobile gaming, console gaming on mobile just has not taken off. Like Zynga is now doing super well on mobile on their Take Two, and like what they are doing is they are, for overall, mobile is like spending more on marketing than on the actual game development. But what they do is okay, we have a cool new idea. Let's make a very quick version of that, put it on like an app store in a random country, let people test it. Okay, we see that it hooks people, people are enjoying it. Now we're building it. Now we're going to make a game out of it. And then they only spend like a fraction of the amount of money that you would have to spend on a console mobile experience. And then they just iterate, and then you get like an addictive mobile game that actually works and is probably not very like cost heavy to operate and stuff. But like a Division mobile game, like you have to have those graphics, and you have to make it's way more expensive. And yeah, I don't think the people have been showing up. Just same for Rainbow Six Mobile. So then you got Assassin's Creed Jade. Like, will that be different? I doubt it. Like, I just want Jade because it's like Odyssey 2. I hope, and yeah, if we can play that on PC, would be nice. Even COD shut down their mobile game. They shut down the Battle Royale game, but not the mobile game. COD Mobile is still popular. I think they're doing a Battle Royale now inside COD Mobile. But they did like a Warzone standalone mobile game, and they shut that down. But they were also making that in-house. So again, like that is too expensive. You want to have those mobile games, those console mobile games, they need to be made in China, which like half of the budget. Pyrus, you're curious to hear your opinion on what happens to guerrilla games after Hunter's Gathering flops. And I like the wording here, after Hunter's Gathering flops, not like if Hunter's Gathering flops, because we all know it's sadly going to happen. And I think we were talking about Fantasyland on this stream a bit, and we were talking about, I mean, like, I'm of the mind that it's just for these Xbox studios to have been operating the way they did, they should be thankful. They should be thankful that they were able to make the game that they got to make, the new IP, the creative game, without any worries of being shut down up until this point. Because right now, Asher Sharma is coming in. Like, any person coming in, sure, the fact that she doesn't have any gaming roots will likely help to make these decisions, because yeah, it's anti-gaming in a way. Like, you're cutting studios with some legacy, right? But she's looking at the numbers, and it's like, why did we spend 100 million on this game that just brought in a few $1,000,000? Like, any other, it's any other business would be like, what are we doing here? So why is it okay for gaming to be like that. Although I wish it was different. Like I always want to say, like I wish it was different. Obviously, it would be great. So it's kind of crazy to have this like period right now in gaming where everyone is like you have to be on your A game right now to get people's attention, to get people to even care about your game, to get people to even like yeah, like having people wishlist your game, that's already a huge task. So again, you have to bring your best stuff in this very competitive market, in a market where people have way less money to spend, where there are way more free-to-play games that everyone can play. So you're competing with a ton of things. And then to think that in an Amsterdam studio, in the most expensive building that we have in this city, probably, in terms of office, you have this 300-person team toying away at this game that we know nobody, okay, not nobody, a few thousand people will show up and buy because it's probably gonna cost money as well. The fact that that is happening right now is so wild. You would think that at Guerrilla Games, they are like, okay, we have all these Sony studios. You got your Santa Monica. They are like banging. Like they are, okay, yeah, okay, what made a lot of money? God of War Ragnarok, right? Okay. Oh, we're now the biggest Sony franchise because people are now catching up to that. I've been saying this for a long time. Spider-Man is huge, obviously, but they have to pay 33% to Marvel. God of War, solely owned by Sony. So God of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man 2 selling the same amount means that Sony got 33% more profit from God of War. And they can do anything with that franchise. So, looking inside Santa Monica, they're like, yeah, we have God of War Laufey. Oh, it's coming out very soon. People are excited. Of course, you always have the, I don't know, but I think that game is going to do very well. Like, we've only seen 20 minutes. But I really think that's going to be like, you have to see this. I think it's going to be very, very cool. And next to that, we already know they're making a God of War trilogy remake, which, like, on the name alone, will sell 10 million copies easily. So you got those studios. You got Insomniac working on Wolverine, and we know they have Spider-Man 3 cooking. They're gonna launch that. It's gonna be another amazing, like, that's gonna do well. I mean, of course, we can talk about Spider-Man 2. There are some things that I would have loved to see different story. Spider-Man 3, still gonna be a banger. I'll be day one. I loved Spider-Man 2 for what it tried, and I have my critiques because I love that game. I want it to be better than it was, but okay. And like, you have all these like studios doing like their absolute best, and it feels like Guerrilla Games operating at like 5% of what they're capable of. It's sometimes crazy to look at like Forbidden West gameplay and see you fighting this enormous elephant, and it's like, what the heck? This looks so cool. And then you see Hunter's Gathering. It's like, is this the same team? It's like having your like best sports team, your Real Madrid, play in like a competition with like amateurs. That's what it feels like. You're putting these people on something that it's a waste of time, it's a waste of money. It just sucks to see. And yeah, look, I hope they got the plot armor. I hope they got the safety net from a Herman Hulst, from a Sony, because it was not their idea to make this game. Like, I hope. Like, there were certainly a few people there that probably thought this was a good idea, but some developers are probably like, what the heck are we even doing with? Like, they understand this too. But yeah, that's the rant. That's the weekly Hunter's Gathering rant. And it just sucks because we could, like, imagine if Guerrilla Games was run the way Santa Monica was run. Because I like Santa Monica, yeah, it's the God of War studio for now, and I hope at one point they can make something new. But for now, they're making new stuff in the God of War franchise, and that is working. God of War Laufey was the most watched, talked about, like, game at Summer Game Fest. imagine having a Cory Barlog for the Horizon franchise. Because then you would have that Pharaoh Plague, like that shooter where you like actually play against these like ancient machines. You get like, okay, how did this world happen? You could make so if you like have a few fans in the room, we could come up with a ton of awesome games in this universe, similar to what they're doing with God of War. They're like, okay, we got like Kratos' wife. That would be such a cool story to tell. Oh, we got these characters. Oh, we got this mythology. Let's make those games. We can go back to the Greek trilogy. Let's do that. For Horizon, you can go in so many directions. What do they do? A VR game where you're in a boat or climbing for 100 hours. A freaking Lego game. And now they're making a Fortnite Horizon game with characters that don't even exist in this world. It's mismanagement to its core. It's crazy. Dark Wolf, thanks for joining. I finished the level 10 domain. Ah. Do you get the Spear of Leonidas in the from the level 10 domain? Real Madrid playing cricket. I think that's a better one, yeah, for sure. Pre-Jord, they need to hear that every time. I don't think people should let them off the hook for this mess. Oh, yeah. I don't like Jack Quaid's voice in the game. It sounds wrong. I want to be open-minded. Like, I love Jack Quaid. I think that's fun. Wolverine will be a 7.5 out of 10. I've said it many times, and I don't want to be very negative because I'm gonna play the game, I'm gonna love it, but I really think something is off with that game. Also, now looking at the amount of marketing Sony is doing for Laufey versus Wolverine, why are they putting Laufey in the banner of their Twitter account and everywhere? Wolverine is up next. That is the big game you want to focus on. Maybe it's because of the Marvel stuff, and they're like, yo, this is our game. We make all the money. But it really feels like Insomniac wants Wolverine to be over with. That is... They're launching New Game Plus day one for Wolverine. Wolverine is gonna be a game they put out. They're gonna, like... This is what it is. We made the best out of it. It was a troubled development. Can we finally move on? And it will sell well. It will make its money back. People are like, oh, I would love to see more from this character, from this character, from this character. Insomniac's like, okay, we're not doing that. So, Spider-Man, help us. And then I hope that they either go to another Marvel character, make another new IP. Like, that is the thing with Insomniac, though. They've had a lot of success with their Marvel properties, but not with their own IP. Like, a Sunset Overdrive sold lifetime less than Spider-Man 2 probably in a few hours. So there's no competition. But yeah, I do hope, and that is also part of a lot of the news and why people don't like what is happening now, and I totally get it. The fact that, yeah, it totally seems like with all these big companies owning all these studios, laying them off, shutting them down, focusing on the big franchise, which with Ubisoft now as well. But like that there will not be a lot of cool new games or like new takes or new IP, etc., etc. But I think with how big these AAA games are right now, and also what people are like excited about, like the sad part is that sure, it's the same with microtransactions. Like, oh, why are people? Why do these companies put those in the game? Blah blah. Blah. Because people show up for them. They buy them, and they would be stupid to not put it in their games. And that's the sad reality of things. And another sad reality is that Hogwarts Legacy sold like 30 million or something copies. These big franchises sell, and it is what shows what people are showing up for. And then you have, okay, yeah, I want more games like the new IP X, blah blah. But if if then nobody buys it. And I always believe, I, I don't think it will become as bleak as people are saying with all these studios shutting down. There will not be any new games. Like Expedition 33, stuff like that will still happen. Like, and that, like, that game showed that, oh, you can make a game like that in 10 million. That would have never happened under a big publisher. So even if you have these studios under these big publishers, something like an Expedition 33 or a Silk Song or something, that can only really work when that is like an independent studio with a smaller team creating what they love. And I think, like, I really hope for that reason that the Blood Dawnwalker is successful, because that does seem to try at least some new things. And yeah, because if that is successful, they can hopefully make, we can, from studios that are not very known right now, they can become the next CDPR. So, like, I'm of the mind, like, if the studio was really that successful, if there were really millions of people playing those games, then then that studio would probably find a way to survive. Again, there are some things, like, it's not always like that. I think the Bungie situation is still, would be really sad if what we're hearing with them laying off half the studio, which means basically the whole Destiny team. That would be very sad. I think that would be a huge mistake. But yeah, I also don't want to, like, I also don't want to be the person who has to sign the check for 500 million to make a new Destiny. And you don't know if it's gonna make its money back. But I think with Bungie and Sony, the moment you bought Bungie for the amount of money that, and then not being willing to pay for a new Destiny game is wild. Then you should not have bought them. IGN will roast Blood Dawnwalker. The combat looks mediocre. Yeah, again, I hope it's gonna be great. I think they're doing like a lot of interesting things. But yeah, the combat doesn't look that good. But yeah, being able to tackle the missions with basically two different characters, being the vampire and your, like, human form. It's good. I hope it turns out well, but yeah, that release date is not ideal. A Doctor Strange game could be quite good. Oh yeah. I think Remedy should still make something like that. Lost of Us Online would have done better than Marathon, to be honest. Yeah, but Lost of Us Online doing better than Marathon was never the issue. It was more about, if the Naughty Dog made The Last of Us Online, then they cannot make single player games anymore. If The Last of Us Online did super well, then that would be their game. And yeah, losing a Naughty Dog to a, like, battle royale or extraction shooter, that would be criminal. So yeah, obviously, like Sony's whole live service strategy is such a mess. They have the IP to, they had to create some cool games inside their IP, but they just failed to do it. I really hope Blood of Dawnwalker does well, yeah. Did you hear the rumors about Black Ops 1 and 2 port to current gen console? Yeah. That is interesting. I'm curious when they will try to do it. But probably before Modern Warfare, right? Do you think they will put Steel Frontiers on PS5 and PC? I think, yeah. At one point they will. I think when they realize Hunter's Gathering is not it, and then they have NCSoft. I mean, the game should be playable on PC already through, like, some sort of emulation or whatever. But look, at one point, NCSoft had already said, yo, we would love to put this on PS5. So it's really Sony blocking them. I really think, how I think the Horizon situation will play out, despite everything, Guerrilla will continue with Hunter's Gathering. Maybe they will properly reveal it, but I do think at one point they will realize this is not working. They will probably still launch it, because they are still going at this point. They want to see it through. They want to see it with their own eyes, that there will not be an audience for it. And then they do at one point, like, the realistic scenario will catch up to them, that this is not working, that this is not realistic. And then they will probably lay off quite some people that they hired for this game. And then with a smaller team, they will work on Horizon 3, which I would not be surprised might be like maybe a smaller, or they want to get at least something out to get some money fast. And then another way to get some money from the Horizon franchise is to look at NCSoft and be like, okay, you guys actually did a great job. Again, I really hope that game is great. I think that game is probably going to be great, but there are some aspects that could really hold it back. Like, if that game is free to play and has like crazy microtransactions that NCSoft can be known for, then that will hurt that game. Like, that they're like actively handicapping Hunters or Steel Frontiers with this whole strategy of having Hunters Gathering as well, and not having it on PS5, not having it on PC, be like that, have that be the mobile game, so it is free to play. So they have to make some microtransactions decisions that will not go over well. It's like, what the heck are we doing? So I'm still scared for that part of it, but I hope that Steel Frontiers, at least like the core game, is good, because then I think they can still fix it. But yeah, then I do think that if Hunters Gathering flops, they close the servers, and then they look at Steel Frontiers and be like, okay, we're gonna make this the main Horizon multiplayer game. Something they should have done already, but... Hey, Demonic Dragon, good to see you. Young Sullivan. Again, like, yeah, there will be more Uncharted, of course, for sure, as well. I also think, like, being, like, looking at, for example, what the God of War Laufe is not the best example, because that reveal did not go over that well, but still. Piano Maniac, what happened to Kena? Are we not getting it this year? It seems very unlikely that we're getting it this year, looking at this slate of games. Like, where do you even want it this year? Because there's no room. There is no room. I think having it in January is probably gonna be the best. What do you believe is realistic release window for? That's the Star Wars RPG, right? Fate of the Old Republic. Considering the devs are only starting development now, several months after the announcement trailer. Yeah. Like, I think 2030 is probably the most realistic. Saber Knight asked, any more news on the 1666 Amsterdam game? No. No. I'll be keeping an eye out. Like, there's early access, of course, first. So I hope the game delivers. I think it looks awesome, but we will see. Are they out of touch and thought people would like Hunter's Gathering? Yeah, I do think. I don't know. There are so many theories I have. But I think that the biggest theory is that it's probably like a mandate from Sony in a way, where they were like, what franchise can we turn into a Fortnite competitor? And then they looked at Horizon, that, yeah, maybe it has some like broader appeal. Like, that is the thing with the Sony IPs. You got The Last of Us, you got God of War. Again, Spider-Man they don't own. So a game for all ages, or that is for more 18 audience, they don't really have. Like, God of War is mature, and they should keep it that way, and The Last of Us as well, etc., etc. So then you get to Horizon. That's your next big thing, and yeah, they just slaughtered that. And it's sad that Guerrilla Games let that happen. It's sad that the people that were able to maybe do a pushback on that, said, okay, we're gonna try it. And that's, I think, what happened. And then they were trying to figure out what the game was. I'd never believed, like, they always wanted to do a Horizon Online game. I don't believe that this was what they had in mind. I just don't believe it. It's just so far from anything Horizon. I would like Horizon Combat game. Like, yeah, that seems to be the way to go, right? Subby one. Like, you already have amazing combat. Just put multiple people in that game. But that's what Steel Frontiers is doing. I heard the 666 game demo was horrible. Yeah, me too, Pirates. I heard that too. I certainly heard that too. Okay. I think I still want to do a new video on the whole Xbox situation. So we're gonna quickly go over that to record that. Let's see if I still need some other news. Let's go through it real quick. So I have the of course the fact that, oh yeah, I wanted to do the blade stuff. Or Arcane Leon in trouble. Insider claims Arcane Leon. Oh, let's do it like this one. So we have, of course, the news about the studios. Then we have that the fact that Ninja Theory, of course, when they announced Senua, they were already planning to shut that studio down, which I think makes sense. Like, I think it's actually, they're actually doing that studio a favor, by having the game in the thing. Oh, Jason just put up a new video about the whole Xbox situation, so that is pretty interesting. Let's see if it actually has some new information as well. Maybe that people have already put that up. No, not yet. Hey, Ancient F, Alex, Aaron, good to see everyone. I wanted Cassandra to be physically present. Yeah, me too. I'll take. Yeah, Jojo, let's hope so. That the Steel Frontiers combat will make it into Horizon 3. I mean, they are doing a lot of cool things in Steel Frontiers. Doing well, Demonic Dragon. Hope you too. Maybe the trailer for Senua is for investors. It is. I came late too. Well, don't worry. We're gonna talk about the whole Xbox situation. Kind of said that I now cannot watch the. I can like quickly do something. Let's because we again have the whole uh gonna quickly do something. See if we have some extra news from Jason Schreier. Well, Steel Frontiers and Hunter's Gathering Combat will probably make it into Horizon 3. I'm not sure about Steel Frontiers. That is quite a different game. From this video. Okay, let's see. Gathering will fade into memory. Oh, yeah. The demo was decent. There was zero combat. It was a bit unpolished, but the story part was good. I got interested in the lore. Okay, that's interesting. I do think it's weird that you put out a demo that doesn't like fully reflect your game. Mm-mm-mm. So I'm kind of looking at what Jason is saying in that video. There are more studios next to the 3. Yeah. Um. Do 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 do. The biggest question I have is Far Cry 7 ever coming out, or will it be cancelled? No, it's probably ever coming out, but when is more the question. Have you heard anything about the Lost Sentinel game? It's been a while since we had the announcement. No, I've not heard anything about it. Sounds like it's having a boatload of issues. Yeah, that is not great. It's just me or everyone now can't apply the 10% with every ability slot on other trinkets, and same goes for 50%. Not sure, but it's always the case that some engravings and shadows are broken. Far Cry peaked in 2018, the hype of it gone. Yeah, I think yeah, that is the thing with a lot of these Ubisoft franchises, apart from Assassin's Creed and Rainbow Six Siege. They are just not as big as they once were. But yeah, they're gonna come out with these games that are going to be way more expensive than the ones that did very well. So it's already an uphill battle. Okay. Okay. Let's go with the news. Let's just keep it rolling and see where we end up. I actually liked Far Cry 6. Me too. I thought it was a great game. Combat was great. Setting was awesome. Okay. Let's do a quick topic and then we can discuss it a bit more after this. Yes, there's a lot of trouble at Xbox, as you probably already know. I want to go over the recent news, what the latest updates are, and kind of my take on it, and how I see them moving forward. So let's start over here at Video Game Chronicle. Xbox Studios, Compulsion, Double Fine, and Ninja Theory facing closer, it's claimed, but they're also in negotiation to spin off. And of course, if you think about studios that would be in trouble at Xbox, these, of course, come to mind. You got Compulsion. Of course, they did the South of Midnight game. Double Fine. Like, we can, like, kind of look at their games. Like, of course, Steam charts are not the best, like, way to determine if a game was successful. They're on Game Pass as well. But having, like, 1,400 peak concurrence for any game is not very good. And the things are looking bleaker if we look at the if we look at the Double Fine games. This is their most recent sort of multiplayer game. That is not a lot of people. So like it makes sense that when Xbox is like, we only, for every $100 we spend, we only make, or no, for every $100 we make, we spend 97, and we like our profit is $3 basically. Their profit margin was 3%. Putting money on a bank gives you more interest than running this Xbox business. So obviously they're looking at their portfolio and being like, okay, what are the games that are not performing well? So we have this South of Midnight studio, Compulsion. They worked on the game for like 6 years. And then they put it out and nobody really cared. Now, of course, there's way more to this. You could be like, okay, but they did have an award at the Game Awards. It's one of the first awards Xbox has won in a very long time. So that's big. That is big. So why did you buy Compulsion? If you were expecting a multi-million seller, that was probably not what they were going to make. I would argue that if I was leadership going into the studio and they showed me that game, I'm like, okay, how long are you going to develop this? You're a 100-person team. This is gonna cost, and that's like kind of a LinkedIn person saying here as well. South of Midnight development and marketing budget 100 million. And they sold like around 500,000, but that's a question mark. It maybe sold even less. Obviously, you got the Game Pass, so it might have done a bit better, but it's kind of wild to me that South of Midnight ever got greenlit and that they were able to work on it for so long and put it out. So it makes sense that these studios are sadly facing closure. It's sad. A lot of people will lose their jobs. I also want to kind of look at it and be like, you could also be like, okay, it's kind of awesome. Double Fine was in a lot of trouble before Xbox bought them. I also think Compulsion would not be longed for this world, looking at the type of games that they make, if you have a 100-person team. Xbox allowed them to make the games that they wanted to make. They put marketing behind it. They did not have to worry about any money. They were being funded, and they could make the games they wanted. And they did not like make games that other people wanted, like the players were not really that interested in. So you could also be like, kind of awesome that Xbox gave them the chance, that Xbox put the money in them, that they invested the hundreds of millions in these studios. Ninja Theory is of course an interesting case because they actually announced a brand new title last week at the Xbox Game Showcase. A Senua game with actual combat, with actual gameplay, instead of it all feeling more like a cinematic that you're kind of playing. I think it looks awesome. But yeah, obviously, these decisions to cut these studios, they are not made in a day. They knew when they were showing this at the Xbox Game Showcase that this game, that they would not be publishing it probably. That like they would be either closing down the studio or, or hopefully, and that's why they showed it. Like, I saw a lot of people like, oh, why did they put it in the Xbox Game Showcase if they were going to close the studio? What a bad look. What a stupid decision. No, it actually makes a lot of sense. They gave this team the option to showcase what they were making on a big stage. And you see the views. Okay, it has like 218,000 views. They can now go to other potential buyers for Ninja Theory and be like, we have this game, it's coming out next year, it's looking great, here, you can play it. Oh, and we made millions of views during Summer Game Fest. We got the excitement, people are happy. If they did not show this game, then, okay, Ninja Theory is for sale. Potential buyers, hello, yeah, we're making this new, like, that would be a way, like, the pitch would be way worse. So, I think it's actually, okay, good guy Microsoft in this video doesn't make sense because they're still going to lay off a ton of people because of bad decisions that they made. But still, I think putting this game in the Xbox Showcase, that helped them. So yeah, I think that is certainly an interesting thing. But the sad part is, we now talked about these 3 studios. That's not the end of it. And I think if they touch Arcane Leon, we're gonna have issues. Of course, they're working on the Blade game right now that was missing in action. But after the Xbox Game Showcase, we did have the developers say, we're cooking, let us cook. This is probably a 2028 game, and we saw during the Xbox Game Showcase mostly games that were either this year or next year. So, this is the team that did Dishonored 1, Dishonored 2, of course, the The Outsider, and of course Deathloop. I love Deathloop and the Dishonored games. They're now making a third-person Marvel Blade game. Like, I think this is probably going to do pretty well. I think it's going to be a solid game. This is like a situation this is like an Insomniac situation where they made their own IP, a Sunset Overdrive, Ratchet & Clank. They found some success, but then they were tied up with a like collaborative, like they were making a franchise that already had a built-in fan base, and then they skyrocketed. And I think, okay, Blade is not as big as a Spider-Man, but there are already way more eyes on this game than on any of the previous Arcane Leon games. So, I think they are primed for a good launch. I really hope they can see it through. But I think I would be shocked if Arcane Leon does not survive this. but we will see. Like, that's kind of the crazy situation. And we also have now Jason Schreier in a new video, and we heard like Nate the Hate, of course, another credible insider talk. This is gonna be a bloodbath, the whole Xbox situation. This is gonna be very, very bad. As in, layoffs across all departments, not just the studio shutting down. Like, Xbox has to look, and that is what Asha Sharma, of course, the new CEO, did. She came in and she was like, why is this house on fire? What is happening? Why did we put out Doom the Dark Ages for a couple $100 million and it did not even sell $1 million in a few weeks? Like, while Eternal did super well. The issue Microsoft has been facing for a long time is that their games are not an event. They have all these enormous studios, their own fault by acquiring all of them, and now they're putting out these games. Look at a Sony. What are the big games coming out? It's Wolverine. That's going to be huge. After that, it's going to be a while before we hear anything. It's probably God of War Laufey. After that, it's probably going to be Until Dawn 2 or Intergalactic. Like, those are big moments. I'm already looking forward to Wolverine. Like, oh my god, we're finally getting a new PlayStation exclusive. Before that, it was Saros to a certain degree. Ghost of Yotei felt like a big moment. For Xbox, because they put out so many games that cost the same amount of money to make as a Saros, as a Ghost of Yotei, but don't get the proper, like, push, or because they have too many studios to worry about. Like, what the heck is going on? They have the Game Pass games that they're dropping, and they cannot make these games an event. And that is an issue. And the only way to fix that is by creating less games. And that is seemingly what she's doing now. She's looking at, doesn't make sense for us to put out all these games. And for a lot of these studios, it's sadly no. And that is kind of the sad reality we are in. But she's also finally doing something that Luke and I have also talked a lot about on the Free Roam podcast. And that is, it's crazy. It has always been crazy to me that you buy Bethesda and you walk around that office and you have the Fallout freaking TV show, which, like, the big, remember when that first season came out? Everyone and their mother, also people that never touched a Fallout game, did not even know that it was a game. They watched that TV show. And then for them to only have a Fallout 76 update ready, and that's it, and then Season 2 comes around, it's another Fallout 76 update. How can you fumble that so bad while you had, like, it's not that they bought Bethesda last year. They have this company for a long time. And you have these enormous... Fallout is the biggest thing Xbox has at the moment. Elder Scrolls as well. Obviously, you got your Activision, your Blizzard. That is not broken. Don't fix it. They're doing actually pretty well. I think it's pretty fascinating what the Blizzard CEO, the new CEO, is kind of doing over there. That's great. Call of Duty has its own problems, but we know Call of Duty always finds a way. So, leave that be. Those guys are fine. Bethesda, they were really, like Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond, they were really okay with not launching a mainline Fallout game till probably 2035. And for any person, and that's why they need someone like an Asha Sharma that is not like, oh, Todd Howard, I'm gonna, like, bend my knees and you're the god and let's go. She's like, dude, we have this franchise. This game is Fallout 4, what? Fallout 4 made $500 million, I think, in one day. I'm gonna look that up real quick. And that was in 2015. Fallout 4, 500... Okay, here. Fallout 4 set sales records. Today, Bethesda Software announced that Fallout 4 launched with approximately 12 million units worldwide, representing sales in excess of $750 million. And that was just to meet day one demand. You buy this company, and you have this laying there, this Fallout game, and you're like toying around with like I think if they were focused on at least creating a new Fallout, a new Elder Scrolls, you have Obsidian. Obsidian is making Avowed, a freaking fantasy RPG. Of course, there are differences, but like give those franchises away to studios that are capable. Then, like, I think if they had a Fallout game out by now, a new Elder Scrolls out by now, they would be like doing way better. And I do think that studios like a Ninja Theory not making the bucks, or like a Compulsion game not making the bucks, but still giving you awards, or okay, that's a fun Game Pass launch or whatever. That's fine if there are other franchises bringing in the cash. They did not do that. They did not offset the balance. And it really is like Asha is like she makes the most logical decision. It's like they want Elder Scrolls 6, a new Fallout out ASAP. And I think looking at the exclusivity, Gears, that was already exclusive. It's not gonna move the needle. Like the exclusives they announced right now, they're not to sell consoles. In this day and age, with the RAM crisis and all the things going on in the world, you're not going to sell consoles. Gears, Clockwork, and the other future exclusives they're putting out, they are to keep the people that own an Xbox stay on Xbox. Because if you are an Xbox owner and you're like, okay, I can play all these games on PlayStation and get the PlayStation exclusives, that's the better deal. I'm switching over. No, they want to keep the people they have by making Gears exclusive, probably the next Halo exclusive, and Clockwork, and maybe Blade. Although I do think they might have a deal with Marvel or whatever. We will see. But what if you make Fallout 5? You make Elder Scrolls 6. Those games are everywhere. But then you're like, but we also have Fallout : this. We also have Elder Scrolls : this. It's a smaller game in the Elder Scrolls universe that is exclusive. Made by Obsidian, something like that. Or we partnered with Studio X to make a Fallout story in a country that has not happened before. We asked the Fallout London people that are working on the mod to make an actual game. We gave them the funding. That is exclusive. Those mainline games, they have to like sell the 12 million in one day, right? They have to be huge. They have to be moments. And then people on PlayStation are like, oh man, I love these Fallout games. What they're doing an exclusive on Xbox. I think that will move the needle. They want to be the top company, like the biggest entertainment company in 2030, Xbox. Biggest gaming and entertainment. I wish them luck. I don't think a new Fallout or like Elder Scrolls 6 will be out by then, but that is a pretty tough, a tough goal to reach. I think another big thing that they could do is drop the online multiplayer requirement. It's of course something that will hurt them a bit too, but with them having Game Pass and that like people subscribing mostly for the games for that, if they want to hurt Sony, that is the way to do it. Drop online multiplayer requirements, because then you get all like not the Fortnite people, like the Call of Duty people. So the people that have to now on PlayStation pay for PS Plus. If they can do the math where it's like on Xbox, I never have to pay the $15 a month or whatever it is right now, I'm moving over. And then you have like a Fallout exclusive, or like those will move the needle. So I think that is kind of what they should do. But that does mean that what they're doing now is not working. And yeah, there is no again, the sad reality is, and like I'm of course looking at it from a mostly business perspective on this channel in this video. I think having all these like South of Midnight, that's awesome. Having Double Fine create their art, it's awesome. But at one point, it's not realistic. And having a Fallout 4 sell 12 million units, make $750 million in one day, that is like money that all the other Xbox games make combined. So, why would you keep all those games? Of course, they still have Game Pass, so there is still a reason for that. But it makes sense for them to, get leaner, get smaller. And that's the sad reality that we're in with all these companies. Ubisoft is doing it too. They're too big. They don't need all these studios. And yeah, that does mean that a lot of people that are working in games right now are losing their job. And that is the sad reality. But if you, and that is what Microsoft is gonna do now, and that's what actually her job is, make the best possible profitable Xbox, then get rid of these teams that are sadly not delivering, not selling games, and focus on and take Fallout to someone who will make it for you, and of course let Todd Howard still oversee it. I don't care. That seems to be the way forward. Let me know what you think. I've been rambling here, but I'm curious to hear your take, of course, in the comments, in the chat here. And subscribe every Wednesday. I stream here on the channel. There's a countdown on the channel, so hope to see you there. And I will speak to you soon. Goodbye. Of course, I'm not God. We're still here, but that's the video. Elder Scrolls 6 teaser, 8 years old now, yeah. Funniest thing would be if GTA 6 got delayed. Oh, yeah. Okay, bye. Grey Fox, hope Blade is an Xbox exclusive. I can see it happen. Not that these studios would ever sign up to pay royalties again, but imagine Fallout from CDPR or Elder Scrolls from Larian, yeah. I mean, they can certainly find studios for these games. And again, having like a smaller game in that universe, if you have that exclusive, that would be huge. Which embargo? Oh, the Steam machine. Yeah, I saw that too. If GTA 6 gets delayed, all of the September releases will be delayed to November. Oh yeah, they will be moved. Oh, but yeah, it is the end of the stream though. It is the end of the stream. Thanks everyone for watching as always. Hope you had a great time. I had a great time as well discussing all the gaming news, of course, with you. Yeah, I will work on some Shadows videos. And then move over to some Black Flag. I still am sitting on some Black Flag info that I want to share with you one day. So stay tuned. And I hope you have a great rest of the week. I will, of course, be here next Wednesday. And, of course, have a Sunday video, etc. up as well. So thanks a lot. Thanks, Brock, for getting here.